Hi, people have been asking me how to make the double book with the new memory making album making dies. So this is the die set. So I'm going to try and do your tutorial. I've never done one before, so you'll have to bear with me. Right, so for the main box I'm going to cut out the main outer die. So I'm just taping that in place and running it through my machine. So this is now cut the main part of your box, and you've got all your score lines in it as well. So now we want to cut out the aperture for the centre. So to make sure it's central, I'm using two of the outer dies to make it easier to line up. So I'm going to put them two in place. And then I'm not using the straight edge die because I want to have a white border going around the frame, so I'm using the dotty die. So I'm going to place that in, make sure it's all centralised, and tape that down. Then I can remove these two dies and run it through my machine to give myself the aperture in the centre. The aperture piece that you've cut out of the centre, keep it for your sentiment strip, which I'll show you later on. Now I want my silver mirror card detail on the front. So for that I'm going to use the outer frame die and cut it singly so that your dies don't overlap. So I'm cutting the outer frame first. And then I'm going to line my detail in the centre and cut that away. But to cut the centre out of this, I only want a thin border. So now I'm using the straight edge die. so that it'll cut closer to the detail panel. So again, lining that up, tape it down and run it back through your machine. Excuse me. Again, keep your silver part because that will be used for matting and layering. So, with my first piece I've cut, I've already gone ahead and added my double-sided. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. So now I'm just going to glue this to the front. So I'm just putting a thin line of glue. I'm going round the outer and the inner edges. And I can put a few dots on the leaves. To make sure that it'll stick down. So you're just going to lay this onto your card. I'm using you've got two scalloped edges on the side, so I'm using them as a guide to try and give myself an equal border to go around. Oops, it's not very equal. That's better. And then glue it all down. Then I'm just going to reinforce all my score lines. And all the little glue tabs. So I'm going to take all my double-sided off the glue tabs. So then you want to pick up the glue tab and line it up with the edge of the side of your box and pinch it into the corner. So I'm going to do that all the way around. So you've just got the outer side panels sticking up. Before this, I'm only going to take off a little bit. I'm just going to peel back some of the lining of my tape because I want to stick this right into the corner, and then I can put my fingers behind it to make sure that it is stuck. So again, do the same. Pull that side back, push it down from your from underneath and on the top, so you know they've stuck. I'm not going to stick this bit yet because I want to cut a backing panel to go inside my box. So again, using the frame, the scalloped edge, I'm going to cut myself a piece of card to go into the back to give me a backing panel for inside the box. I'm just going to run that through my machine. So with the front side of the card, you want that showing through the front of your box. So I'm just going to put a thin line of glue going round the edge on the back of the card. Just to hold it in place in the frame. So I've left this top piece open so that I can slide my card in a little bit easier. So just let it fall down onto the bottom. Then do the same as we've done on the other side. Just peel back a small piece. Line the edge of this edge up with the edge of your box. And do the same on the other side. Because I've left the lining on my tape, I can now turn this over and then I can push my backing card into place to make sure that it is glued down to the inside of the frame. So now, if you wanted to, you could add just a plain panel on the back and a little stem for a leg to make it like into a frame. But, or, sorry, you could take your 5x7 card and then just glue that onto the front of your card, just to give you your card blank, but with a 3D box on the front. But we're going to make this into a double frame. So I've made another one up ready. So that's all we need to do. Whoops, turn that the right way. That's all we need to do now is place one on top of the other. And then get a piece of ribbon. And just wrap it around, giving yourself enough to make a bow. So I'm going to peel a piece back. Sorry, no fingers and thumbs here. And centrally, just add your ribbon to your frame, let them go back over it, and again the same on the other side. That's that way. Let me just check which way I want it. So I'm going to have it that way, right. So making sure that they lined up. Do the same this side. So that will now hold your two boxes in place. Although there's a big gap, you won't see that later. So you put them on top of each other, line them up, and that's all I've done then. Is I've cut two pieces of card, 13.5 centimetres by 18.5 centimetres, and I'm going to glue these to the front and to the back to make my book cover. So the easiest way I found to do this was to take my backing tape off, and I like to use either a wet glue or the funky stick, so that if I don't get it in the correct place, I know I've got the movability to be able to judge it, so to make sure it's central in my card. So I'm just going over with a glue stick. It goes on purple, but it does dry clear. So I just put some of that on, put my piece of card down, and then hover over the top to try and centralise it, leaving myself a little border going around the box frame itself. So hopefully I'll get it in the correct place, and then I can stick it down. That's not too bad. Rub over to make sure your glue is stuck, and then you do exactly the same on the other side, keeping your boxes lined up. And again, remove your tape. Making sure your boxes are stuck together. Put your card down. Oops. And centralise it. Make sure your box is straight and centralise it on your card. Turn it over and press down. So now your spines are loose at the moment because they're only being held by ribbon. So then I cut myself a strip of card 4.2 centimetres by 17.8 centimetres, and I scored it at 2.1 centimetres down the centre. So I'm now going to glue this to my side panel to keep the spine more secure, and it encloses the ribbon as well. So I'm just going to put some double-sided onto the strips. On this one I am going to use a wet glue because I just find it easier. But I've got the double-sided tape on there to help it stick a bit quicker and hold it in place until my glue is set. Make sure it's on the right side, and then I'm just going to hold my boxes together. And I'm going to stick on one side. Turn it around again, lining them up. And then sticking down that side. And then that gives you your box and holds it together. Now the pieces that we cut out earlier from the aperture, I've kept them, and that's all I'm going to do is with the dotty panel, I'm going to cut out so I'll have a decorative edge. So I'm going to cut that out of that one, and then I need a pink piece of card. With the pink card I'm going to cut this dotty edge out, but the dotty edge would give me an inner dot on the panel, but this is going to give me a straight edge. So I'm going to cut that out of pink, and then the next layer down, which is a scalloped edge, I'm going to cut from the white panel. So I'm going to run them through my machine. Left the backing tape on there. You could also keep, this gives you a thin border, so you could also keep that piece as well to give you, if you wanted your border in a contrasting colour, or going around your inside frame, you could have a contrasting colour, so you could use that again as well. I'm just going to cut the detail, which is the next size down, out of that panel. And then I'm going to use these then for my text panel. So that can be glued to the inside. And then I've also cut out the Sending Hug sentiment, or you could use a stamped image, a stamped sentiment, and then just add that to your frame. Then I've used pink for my backing card. So it's your choice then whether you wanted to add pink strips going around your edges, or you could use your edge dies, which I've used so far here. And then there's the shorter ones. I'm just going to glue these on the tops, the top, the sides and the bottom. So just add one just to show you. Then they can go all around your frame, and then you just decorate the front as you want. You can either have it to match and put it on the front, or if you wanted to put something totally different or a decoupage or something on the front, and that's your box made. And that's how easy it is to make. I hope this video turns out okay, because like I say, I've never done one before, so I don't know what the lighting is going to be like, or what I'm going to sound like, or if you can actually hear what I'm saying. But that's how easy it is to make the box. So hopefully you'll be able to follow along with the video and make one in your colourways and whatever sentiments you want to add to the centres. So I hope this turns out okay, and enjoy. I'm looking forward to seeing all your makes. Thank you. Ta-ra. Bye.